So, hey YouTube, I'm Steve Konish, and I'm here to talk about Red Hat Insights with malware detection. Let's get started. So here's the little demo we're going to do on malware detection. The first thing we're going to do is install and register the Insights client on RHEL. I'm going to be using RHEL 8.7 in this case. So we'll go ahead and do a yum or DNF install on the Insights client, and we'll go ahead and register, and then we can go to the console. And when we do that, we can actually go to the malware tab and see or locate the targeted system that we're going to use today and see if we have a match on any of the malware. And of course, when we first start here, we won't have any match. The next thing we're going to do is install the Yara package so that we can actually do malware detection on the RHEL system itself. And so once we've done that, we're going to go do a malware detection run or using the collector initially. And then we're going to go ahead and edit the config file, which is actually a YAML file. We're going to set the test scan to false. For the demo purposes, I'm just going to set the file system scan to false, and then I'm only going to scan processes. So I'm going to set that to true. I'm going to save the file. And from there, we're going to go ahead and run another malware detection collector, and this is only going to scan the processes again. Then we're going to go to the console, the Insights console, locate the system, and then we'll see that we don't have a match yet. And then we're going to go ahead and run some synthetic malware as a running process, and then we'll go ahead and rescan once again. And once we've done that, we'll go back to the console, and we'll see over here that we have a match. And of course, here's just the synthetic malware signature that I'm going to use today for this demonstration. And that's it. So let's get started with the demo. Okay, the first thing we do is install the Insights client. And that's already installed, but that's the command for reference. Next thing we'll do is register it. Okay, and again, this has already been registered, but you see the appropriate command. Okay, next thing we're going to do is install the Yara package for the malware detection. And that's already installed. And now we're going to go ahead and collect the malware detection. Now, normally you run this for the first time just to populate the config file, which we're going to go through in a second. So as you can see, it's actually scanning the processes on the system. And we're going to walk you through that in a moment. So we can see it has not detected any malware on the system currently. And that's exactly what we hope for and expect in this case. Okay, no rule matches found. We're good. Okay, the next thing we can do is look at the config file. But before we do that, we'll see that we indeed, if we go to the GUI, we can see that we have no matched signatures. So now let's go ahead and look at the config file. Now we made 3 adjustments to the config file. Let's go ahead and look at those. The first one was to turn the test scan to false. It's set to default to true. And then just to make the scan quicker for the demo, I set the file system scan to false. And then I sent the processes, which we'll get to in a second here, to true. So I'm only scanning the processes for this demo, which is fine. You can also scan the file system, which is something you would normally do in production, but this is just to make it a quick demo. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run some malware. We're going to switch over to root user, and we're going to run a script that we have, which is a synthetic signature to pretend we have malware on the system. Okay, so now let's go switch back to another terminal window and let's do a malware collection again. Okay, and you'll notice as before, I'm only scanning the processes because that's what I set it to do in the config file. And as we get towards the bottom, you'll see that it'll actually detect the malware signatures in the running process that we have on the other terminal window. Okay, so as you can see, we have 3 rule matches, and we've got 1 rule match in process 7627. And so now we can go ahead and exit out of the malware. And so now let's go to Red Hat Insights. And so this is the GUI. And you see from before it was not matched. So now let's refresh the GUI or the web page. And you see now we have a match. So let's go ahead and look at the details. If we expand that, we can see that the name of the script was root/finspy.sh, and the detected signature with the lines are fincon, finrelay, and finutil. So that's a successful detection of the malware. So that concludes this demo. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.